Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered, and boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethoslife.com/audio. That's ethoslife.com/audio.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, welcome into Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily. This is your host, Tyler from Black Diamond Softball and Fitness. Hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving feasts. Hope you enjoyed your time with your families. And as we kick off the holiday season, it's a wonderful time of year to kind of reflect on life, reflect on family, friends, and kind of see where you've been. What I like to do in the fall season is to kind of regroup and set some end of year goals and then start looking towards what I want to do next year. So as you know, the fall season wraps up here in softball, and a lot of sports are sort of transitioning over into new ones. Take some time and see where you're at, coaches, and see what you need to work on, see what you need to develop. Parents, if it wasn't a good fit for you, but you stuck it out because you honored your commitment, and it's time for you to move on, maybe find someone else. Maybe you're aging out. Maybe the team is aging up and you're going to stay down. Look at those situations and try to figure out what's best fit for you. Don't listen to anyone else. Follow your heart. Talk to your daughter. She's the one involved. Okay. As we try to look for tryouts and we try to figure out, how we're going to fill our team or what team I'm going to end up going to, depending on what perspective you're looking at. That word bracket pitcher comes up quite a bit, and I can't stand the word bracket because it's like if you look on social media or if you look on tryout flyers and stuff like that, everybody's always looking for a bracket pitcher, and I don't really know the definition of a bracket pitcher. Does that mean someone that can come in and win a bracket game, or someone that comes in and plays well in brackets? Like, what does that mean? Are you still playing in those tournaments where it's like 2 pool games, single elimination, and you don't want to go home after a third game? Or I don't understand the whole bracket pitcher thing. So you have pitchers on your team. Some are more developed than others. Some haven't developed yet at all. Some are coming into it. Some may have had a bad weekend. But at the end of the day, pitchers are pitchers. They're 10U, they're 12U, they're 14U. As they get a little bit older, you'll know what level of pitcher you've got. I don't know any other sports that do that. Either they're starting players or they are, captains or something like that. I've never done this bracket thing. I've got a bracket quarterback or I've got a bracket center. Why is it always just the pitchers that are brackets or pitchers that are pool? I don't see on social media where they talk about I need a bracket third baseman, or I need a bracket center fielder. I need a bracket second baseman. What about a bracket coach? Like, hey, I can get us through the pool games, but I'm bringing in a bracket coach. Imagine if that's what we did. Imagine if a parent put out there, hey, I've got a really solid ball player. We are looking for a team. We're trying out, looking to guest play this weekend. I'm looking for a bracket coach. I mean, put it in that perspective and see if you still talk about, bracket pitchers. These girls deserve a shot just like anybody else. You don't put that tag on them because they haven't won a bracket game for you, or you haven't seen them pitch in a bracket game. Well, give them that opportunity. Let them do it. I mean, everybody's a pool pitcher. Everybody's a bracket pitcher. What if you end up with injuries, or what if you end up making it to a championship and your 2 bracket pitchers can't go? You just going to forfeit? Oh, we don't have any bracket pitchers. We don't have any, so we have to forfeit. You got pitchers. If your catcher gets hurt, you're not out there looking for a bracket catcher. You're going to stick somebody back there that's a utility player, or maybe your backup, or someone that can play the position. So it's the same thing. Like, I'm so tired of the pool and the bracket stuff. Just, develop the player. That's it. First and foremost, develop your player. All right. So on the flip side of that, pitchers out there, are you ready to be in that big moment game? It's like a win or go home type of game. Are you ready? Have you been, working your butt off and just haven't gotten the opportunity yet to pitch in that game? That win or go home game, it's a lot of mental stuff that goes into it. So you have the physicality of it. You have the hitting your spots and throwing your pitches and getting your movement and getting your spin and that stuff, the physical side. But you also have the mental side of it. Can you go out there and perform when you have that monkey on your back of, if we lose this, we go home? You got ice, running through your veins? Is it one of those things that you need to continue to develop? And even at a young age, 10s, 12s, 14s, whatever, you're going to get those opportunities. And if you're not getting those opportunities, go seek out those opportunities. Go find out where you can go play and continue to develop, not only physically, but mentally, so you can get put in those situations. Because at the end of the day, colleges, if that's the route you want to go, and you do want to play college ball, colleges want to see you playing against like competition. So if you have aspirations to go play D3, you need to try to go to those camps, go to those clinics, go to whatever that has girls that end up playing at the D3 level, and of course, D2 and D1. I will say this.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
As far as the parity and competition, there's high level ball at all 3. So either you're a college caliber player or you're not. Now, of course, inside of that player that doesn't make it to the college level, of course, there's really good ones and there's ones that are on the fringe. But every level of competition has those ones that stand out, and every other, player, they play a critical role, and it's like their floor is at a certain standard, and then of course they have a high ceiling. So, but are you ready for that? If you've been playing sort of the lower end traveling rec type tournaments, and it's the same teams every weekend, this weekend we're going to this town, but it's the same 4 teams. Or are you playing that schedule to where you can tell that the caliber of competition is a little bit higher? You're going to continue to develop. You're going to get better just because you don't want to go out there and flop. So you want to continue to put your work in to be able to compete at that level. And I tell girls all the time that hit with me, it's like if you keep trying to raise your 100%, like if your 100% level is like right here, and you keep trying to push your max, you keep, sending your max higher and higher, that means your 80% and your 90% are going to continue to rise as well. If you were to go stand in the box in a game and swing the bat as absolutely as hard as you possibly can, you're probably not going to hit the ball because the mechanic's going to break down. The front shoulder might leak out and your head's going to pop up. You might drop. Something's going to happen. So we end up swinging about 80%, 85, 90%, something like that. But if I continue to practice swinging hard and giving maximum effort, And my 100% will continue to rise. Well, underneath that is my 80 and my 90. So eventually your 80% and your 90% effort will raise above where your 100% effort used to be maybe a year ago. So continue to push your limits and try to raise your 100%. So when you back it off just a little bit, so you have a little bit more control, that your levels will be high enough to be good. And you'll end up being higher than, if you were to give out just uncontrollable maximum effort. Like, have you ever ran as fast as you can and your legs end up going too fast and you trip? It's sort of like that. Or if you're, put it into a race car, you just stomp on the gas as hard as you can until the engine blows up. Well, if you have to back it off just a little bit so the engine doesn't blow up. Well, if you keep training your body to go harder and harder and harder and harder, your max level rises and everything underneath that also rises. So eventually what used to be your max level a year ago is now where you're at given 60 or 70%. So think about that, put that into your workout. So that's why I'm asking, like, are you ready to take that next step, or are you just satisfied with wherever you're at? All right. And with that, too, parents, let's not make it too easy on them, and not tell them that, hey, if they're not doing great, don't tell them that they're doing great. Eventually they grow out of that and they don't want to hear that. Like, they know I sucked this weekend. Like, they could have went 0 for 8, struck out 4 or 5 times, and just had an awful weekend at the plate. You don't have to tell them they did great. You can be honest with them. You can give them some good with some bad. All right. Don't make it so easy on them. One of my buddies, Mandy, she talks about being like lawnmower parents. We can't do everything for them. So I know we want our kids a lot of us want our kids to be recruited to go play college ball and stuff. Don't write their emails. Let them write their emails. Let them fail at it so they get better at it. They are not supposed to jump out and be experts at this process. So go along with them and fail with them. All right. But don't think and you try to make everything easier on them because you're older, and you end up sort of setting them up for failure because they can't take care of themselves. And this is just a part of our generation. I catch myself doing it all the time, where I might as well just go ahead and do something. If instead of asking my kid to do something around the house or whatever, I'll just go ahead and do it. Like, if they leave their shoes in the floor, I'll pick them up just because they're in the way. But what I'm doing is I'm making it easier on them for really no reason. So hold our kids a little bit more accountable. I can do that better as a dad, as a parent. Make sure that they can take care of their own. It could be something as small and trivial as cleaning up after yourself. But if we don't create that standard, then they're just not going to do it. It's not going to be instilled in them and built in them. Same thing, you can look at it in the classroom. You can look at it with homework. You can look at it athletically. You can look at it as far as helping out around, in the communities and stuff like that. We don't necessarily have to make it easy. You don't have to make it a cakewalk for them. So we're talking about the recruiting process, or we're talking about playing competition and stuff like that. We don't necessarily have to make it as easy as possible. We can kind of filter that a little bit and, show them the two different ends of it, where it's like extremely hard, make it extremely difficult, and then make it extremely easy. And I'm willing to bet a majority will start to grow out of, wow, this is easy, and they want to face that competition because they want to better themselves. And of course, that's going to be, dependent upon how old they are, how mature they are, where you live, and that kind of stuff. So don't make it too easy on them. Don't be a lawnmower parent. That's what Mandy calls it, where we just mow everything down and make everything easy for them. Let them, get a little bit, let them taste life, if you will, because life is definitely not rainbows and butterflies and that kind of stuff. So, that's essentially where we're at in this society. I think right now is we're in a transition period where us as parents is having to learn when to back off and when to let them fail. So it's okay to fail. I coach a lot from the failure side. I love talking about failure because that's where we grow and that's where we build success from. So I have to do a better job myself personally. So I know there's probably some of you guys out there like me that you just want to make it easy on them, but down the road 10 years from now, you're going to be like, man, I used to do that stuff for you all the time, and now you got to do it yourself. And they're thankful for it right now. They are. They may not say it. We got a bunch of little brat kids, but they may not say thank you all the time. But we're making life too easy for them. And in the college world, man, if we've done everything for them and then we send them off to college and they don't know how to wash a dish or wash some clothes or set an alarm clock or whatever, we've always done that. Man, they're going to have a rough few months trying to get used to the college life. It's already going to be hard enough being away from you guys. But if they're used to us taking care of everything, good Lord. Little kid's going to be back home before you know it. Mommy, I need you. So just a couple of points,
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Talking about bracket pitchers, talking about Are You Ready and Lawnmower Parents. Just 3 topics just to give you something to think about. I hope I piqued your interest just a little bit. There's a lot more topics that we have on the Foul Pole to Foul Pole Daily Show. If you listen to it over on whether it's Apple or Spotify or Google, whatever, I appreciate you guys. I know the audio side is doing really well. I've been looking at the analytics on that side. We are getting a ton of plays every single day. So the podcast is growing. I thank you guys so much for that. We are still in the transition going from the Black Diamond YouTube page, which has about 18,000 subscribers, over to the brand new Foul Pole to Foul Pole page. It is a much smaller page. There's just not a whole bunch of content out there. So it hasn't hit the YouTube algorithm. So if you're watching it on the YouTube side, do me a favor. First and foremost, hit that like button so YouTube sees it. Leave me a comment, leave me a personal experience, leave me something that whatever I said, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, comment on it some way, somehow, whether it's just a heart, whether it's a thumbs up, hey, good job, or hey, bad job, or whatever. Leave me a comment on there so we can start to get this type of stuff into the YouTube algorithm. If you're not yet subscribed over here and you just forgot about it, hit that subscribe button, and then there's that little bell beside there. Turn on those notifications so that way anytime I post these videos, you get them and then you'll always see them, all right? And also, everything is starting to transition over to our website page, and that website is nothing more. It's kind of a collection point. It's got my blog post on there. Every day or so, I try to write a quick little blog, usually about 2 or 3 minutes long, nothing crazy. Just a story. It might be something I read, or it might be some thoughts, something like that. I put it out there. Not a lot goes into it. Just gives you something to think about, winding down before bed, or if you got a lunch break, something like that. Just if you want to read something, you might not agree with everything, and that's perfectly fine. You can leave comments on there too. Dive into it a little bit deeper, explain a little bit more than I did, or give me your opinion on it. I'd love that. Also, the updated video podcast from the YouTube channel will also be on that website, so you can watch them straight there on the website. The audio podcast, there's a page in that website to where you can go back and you can scroll through. They're all in one place, and then you can sort of pick which one you want to listen to. I listen on Spreaker. It's the podcast hosting. It's my platform that kind of sends them out to everybody. I like that. It's user friendly. But you can get to it anywhere. Like if you're looking on Spotify or Amazon or wherever, you can also get to that, however you do that. And then the Foul Pole to Foul Pole daily shows, the most current one will be uploaded there as well. So, it's a daily grind, getting all this information out. First off, it's creating it, and then also getting it out to you after it's edited and that kind of stuff too. So there's just a lot going on, and I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to get the biggest response. And, sometimes the response, it's not going to be positive. It's going to be a negative response. But regardless, leave me your opinion on stuff. Tell me tell me how a story touched you, or tell me how I'm way off base or something like that. Let's have the conversation. I'm not above having a conversation. Told you guys, if you've listened to me in the past, dude, I'm not an expert. I throw it out there. I do my research and I give my opinion on stuff, and I speak from personal experience on a lot of things. And you can agree and disagree. I'm game for it. I love the audience that I have. I love the followers. I love the backing that I got. So it's cool for me. Talk to a lot of people from all over the country, and internationally for that matter. So, yeah. So you got the website, you got the audio side, you got the video side. And of course we're on Facebook, linking different things, talking about different things. I just try to push it out. So, I think my audience is kind of spread out where they're getting the information. That's sort of how I've got it going on right now. I do have a pretty good following, and I appreciate you guys, and I wouldn't have this following if it wasn't for you. I want to grow this following and get this information out to as many people as I possibly can. So without you guys, it's going to be impossible for me to do that. So do me a favor, share this type of stuff, share it with a friend. And of course, when you do, you tell them you love them.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.